Hey, this is Corey Barnes.
And this is Lisa Caperton, and you're listening to Her Turn to Talk. Hey, Corey, so you say it's Friday?
It's Friday.
I don't even know. I constantly feel like I never know what day it is. I don't know what's going on. I constantly look at my calendar because I'm so terrified that I'm missing something or forgetting something. Mm-hmm. Especially now, I have like my business. I'm starting to get some trickles in every now and then I get super paranoid when I have pets because I'm so paranoid that I'm going to like forget a visit or forget something. So I'm constantly checking my calendar, like making sure I'm not forgetting to walk or feed somebody.
Oh, I know. I know it's easy to do that. Yeah.
What does your shirt say?
What does my shirt say?
Uh-huh.
It's a golden retriever and it says Namaste Golden.
Oh my gosh.
It's so for core power.
You always have really cute doggy shirts.
Thank you. Them. I know. I'm like, I gotta rep my career here. Rep what I do. I'm actually
it's like what you do in pets, but also one of your loves is yoga.
Exactly. That's why I love it. And then I wear it to yoga class and everyone always says, oh my God, your shirt's so cute. And I'm like, I'm a pet sitter. And that's how I get to my clients.
It's brilliant. You're a walking billboard.
Exactly. I'm staying at a house right now and they have a duck. And this duck just hangs out in the backyard. And that makes me extremely nervous. We've already stayed here twice, and there's been duck incidents with 2 different pet sitters.
Yes. Wait, what kind of incident? Like, has something tried to eat the duck? Not like the pet sitter, but like a coyote or something tried to eat the duck?
Yeah, back in these ducks are free roam during the day, and then I guess at night they'll go into their pen. I don't know what's going to happen here. That's what
you don't put them in the pen. They just go in.
Yeah, these ducks are huge. It's a huge duck. Like it is the size of my like my whole from my stomach to my shoulders. I mean, it's big.
It's not a goose. It's a duck.
It's a duck. A big old duck.
Is that only one?
There's only one. Yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This is the first time I've stayed here. I've had a lot of other pet sitters stay here, but I'm just this duck and he's just swimming in his pool. And then quacked at me. But I'm like, okay, hopefully he'll put himself to bed by 7 p.m. And if not, I'm going to chase him. I'm going to chase him into the pen. Because you got to get in the pen.
Is it a locked pen, like enclosed where nothing can get to him?
Yeah, when he's finally in it. But right now he's free roam in the backyard in his hot tub.
I would be so terrified. Oh my God.
I'm like oh my God.
Just thinking about having to chase the duck. And what if he turns on you?
Well, yeah, I'm just like, I can't believe I can't believe the duck, I didn't show up and the duck was in his pen already. So, oh well. Well, I'll keep you posted with my duck adventures.
But what's his name?
Duck. His name's Duck.
They just call it Duck?
I don't see any names.
Did Duck used to have friends and now ducks?
Yes, this family has had many, many ducks throughout the years, as far as I know.
But what happened? Wait a minute. What happened to the other ducks?
The last time there was one girl, she stayed here. I think it was the year before last, and she said when she arrived there was 3 ducks, and the next morning there was only 2.
Oh no.
And so I don't know. And then about 2 years before that, there was another pet sitter and all 3 ducks went missing.
You would think
so I don't want
they would learn and set something up better because clearly what they have is insufficient.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I do not want to. I mean, it's fine. I'm just
going to.
They know they have a problem.
That's why we don't name them because they're just coming and going. They don't want to have to think about names. God. There's like duck 1, duck 2, duck 10, duck 12.
Yes. Oh my gosh. 1, 2. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, I feel really bad for the ducks though.
I know. And we're kind in the country out over here, there is predators,
Are you
but
there?
I'm
Do you
gonna do
get
my
to
very
watch the
best
duck?
to take the highest quality care of this duck and keep
Yeah,
it alive while
you're gonna be
I'm
sitting
caring for
outside in the middle of the night,
it.
standing guard, duck
I just
guard.
need I just need to get him in his pen, and as long as
Do
he's in
they
his pen,
have so I guess that it didn't the other ducks didn't go in their pen, maybe, and that's why they got taken. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not clear.
Or
I
maybe
know
they
for
was
sure.
a planned escape and the ducks don't like it there and they want it out. And so
It's possible.
they dug a tunnel and there was the great duck escape.
Great. No,
They're all
that
living. They're
last
living in
time.
Donald Duck's not Donald. Who's it? Uh, what's the duck with the nephews? And he's the rich duck with the treasure. What is that?
Scrooge, McScrooge.
I don't know. DuckTales. Ooh. They went to live with the Ducktail ducks. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be remembering that wrong, but I thought they were rich ducks.
they were, and he would swim in the money. That's what I think about
Yeah.
whenever I
Yeah.
have
So
money.
maybe they went, that's what they're off somewhere doing that, swimming in money.
Was it
It was
McScrooge?
DuckTales.
Scrooge
Is it
McDuck.
Scrooge? Okay. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you
And
there
Lon.
only to watch this duck or do they have other animals?
No, there is a lovely Australian Shepherd named Oliver who is deaf, and
Oh,
then his his companion, a Maine Coon cat named Henry.
oh, I love that. I love both of those kinds of animals. I love
I
those
know
breeds.
they're very nice, and
Oh
Henry's.
yeah,
I mean,
you
Oliver's
you
down by
totally
my
got to
feet.
let me know about your duck adventures. Are you going to be scared if you
Well,
wake up in the middle of the night and hear craziness?
well, no, we'll just have to roll with it. We'll just have to roll with it. I will feel relieved once that duck goes back into his pen because chickens will go back in their pens when the sun goes down. They
Yeah,
go in
yeah.
their little houses. So I assume this is what's going to go on with this duck. They didn't give me clear instructions about it. So as long as he makes it into that pen, I'll feel good. And we'll call him Scrooge McDuck. Good old
Yeah,
Scrooge McDuck.
there you go. Then we'll name him, and maybe that'll make him want to stay. Maybe that's why they don't want to stay is because they don't love them enough to give them a name.
I don't know. They're hilarious though, swimming in the hot tub. You should see them, and we'll put a
He's a hot
picture.
tub.
Yeah,
The duck has a hot.
you'll see. It's actually a giant like farm sink for him to swim in, and there's water in it. So
Oh, that's nice.
he got out when he saw me, and then he went back in and was just paddling around in this tiny little
So
sink.
you can't pet him. Have you tried to pet him?
I don't want to pet him.
I'm
a dog handler. I'm a cat handler, but ducks are outside my scope of handling.
You're gonna have to text me later if you have to chase that duck. I want to know.
I will. I'm trying to send a picture now. I'm trying to get hooked up to the Wi-Fi here.
I mean, that's really funny. That's really funny.
It is. So what's new in your world? Anything exciting?
We're just like getting ready for school stuff. That happens next week.
Yeah.
One of the children starts school. I feel overwhelmed. I feel totally unprepared for things. I feel Danny asked me today, he's like, do you have any idea what's going on? And I was like, no. He's like, I had like 10 emails. I haven't opened them. I was like, I've opened them, but I don't remember now who's doing what and when, because they both start at different days. They're both doing totally different schools. That's just like one's doing one way, one's doing another way. Where I figure everybody's going to be a mess at first, so we'll have a couple of weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
See what happens. I don't know. I'm kind of like, it just feels like a wash this year.
I know. I was someone who I can't remember who it was, but she had written a blog about how her first grader is really sliding back and hasn't learned her numbers and her her numbers and letters maybe on how to pronounce them. And I was thinking, oh my God, all these kids that are going to be set back like that. Yeah, that's such an important time to be in a classroom, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's hard because it comes into that like the inequality of, I've definitely seen a lot of parents that have the money that are hiring private teachers and forming pods, and then they're outsourcing and hiring private teachers to teach the kids with their online curriculum and all that. And I'm like, well, that's great, but then they're going to go back to school and not everybody's going to be able to have done that, and so it's like, it's just going to make these gaps so that I feel like already exist are going to just kind of get bigger.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to even that out the next year. I don't know. I mean, I feel like right now I'm like, this is probably going to be the whole school year. I don't see, really a case for it not to be. I don't know how that works, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, even if they came out with the vaccine at the first of the year, like, then they still got to like get it to everyone. And, of course, like the most important people and first responders and healthcare workers and most vulnerable, like all those people need to go first. Right. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, well, people like us, like I'm like, we're probably need to be one of the last because we are the lower risk. Right. I don't know. I'm just like, what the hell? Every day is just like, let's see what happens today. I don't know. Maybe it'll be exciting. Maybe it won't.
I know. Yep. I know.
So, but I'm excited to talk to our guest today, Amara.
Yes.
And she is the executive director for Dress for Success. Do you know about Dress for Success?
I know a little about it.
Yes. So I know a little bit about it too, and I'm excited to hear more about it. I'm excited to kind of see how it got started, because it seems to me, I think she's been there pretty early on in the beginning, at least maybe after even just a year or so. I think kind of see how that grew, because I feel like it probably started out really small and it's gotten really big. And I know that they've helped, at this point. I think I read a fact somewhere that they had helped something over, like they've distributed something over 1 million clothing items and accessories and things like that so far.
Wow.
To help women be able to dress for success and dress for their job interviews and dress for being prepared to go out into the working field. I think that's really, really awesome. So I'm excited to talk to Amara about that.
Yeah. I was reading on their website, they want to break the cycle of poverty by offering this long-lasting solution of helping women get jobs and literally dressing for success. Because we all know how important it is. You show up to a interview and looking nice is a big part of it,
Right. Well, and it's also got to be a huge part, even just like for your confidence, right?
Absolutely.
Like if you have to go in there already thinking about what I'm wearing and being worried that what I'm wearing is not good enough, then I'm certainly not going to be able to be present in the moment and give the best representation of myself, because I'm too worried about how my shoes look or whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's bring Amara in now.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi,
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Good. It's
you
Friday.
Look beautiful. I'm like, you're dressed for success right now. You look beautiful.
It is so funny. I dress more for the Zoom than I do in my office because my face is covered up. So, all I do is the eyes, but on the Zoom, I can have lip gloss and lipstick, and I'm like, woo-hoo.
Welcome. Thanks so much for coming today. We're thrilled to have you on.
Absolutely.
And happy Friday. We were just chatting about Dress for Success, and we would love to know, how did it get started?
Absolutely. So Dress for Success is an international organization. And so it got started way back in 1997 by a wonderful woman named Nancy Lublin. She had received an inheritance from her grandfather, and she was in the process of trying to find a job. She had just graduated from law school, couldn't find a job for anything. So she took that $5,000, went to Bergdorf Goodman, bought a fabulous suit, got a job right away. And she started thinking, how many other women are in this exact same predicament? You have the training, the talent, the education, but you don't look right. So therefore, you're not getting opportunity. And so she created the concept of Dress for Success, where we believe one woman plus one suit equals one job. And now, 23 years later, Dress for Success has 152 affiliates in the United States, and we are in 29 countries.
Wow. Oh my
I
gosh.
had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know it was international. I didn't know it's been around 23 years. Oh my gosh, that is just phenomenal. And when did you join the team?
I joined the team in 2007.
Mhm.
Dress for Success Denver was founded in 2006 by a woman. Her name's Kathy Bacon. She is still around. She lives in Seattle right now. And we actually worked together at Nordstrom. And I started volunteering in January of 2017, and I was hired in September of 2017. So I'm about to celebrate 13 years with the organization, which is pretty wild when I think about it. I spent an entire decade of my life working at Dress for Success.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What is like the process? So how does it work if when somebody comes into Dress for Success? Walk us through those steps of how that works.
Absolutely. So we have about 220 local partners. Our partners range from nonprofit organizations to job search, job readiness programs, community reentry, school, anybody you can think of who is helping women get jobs. They are referring women to utilize our services. Now, pre-COVID, they came into our office. You had a personal stylist who would walk you through, shop the best clothes, jewelry, shoes, handbags, everything you could think of. We give that to you because we don't want people to try to be discriminated against because of how they look. And we don't want you to worry about what you look like. We want you to focus on the job interview. So they would come in, and while you're there, you get to meet one-on-one with a career coach. And that coach will help you to answer questions about yourself, give you some confidence, give you some tips and techniques for starting your first 30 days on the position. And that is how we did it pre-COVID. Post-COVID and during COVID, we have developed a no-contact suiting. So you are getting a survey and you're completing that survey as honestly and accurately as possible. We will pack a bag for you full of stuff, full of everything that we could imagine. And then we have a curbside pickup.
That's amazing. So it's not just about helping a woman pick out some clothes. You're actually going an extra step above and beyond, giving them counseling, helping to build their confidence, giving them, practice with interviews, all that kind of stuff comes with that.
Mhm.
That
The
is
clothes is just the gateway. That's like how, that's the hook. That's how
Yeah.
we get you to come in. Because as we all know, you can look great. You can have on a fabulous outfit. You can look real good. But number one, if you don't know how to answer any questions, you're never going to get a job. Number two, if you don't know how to represent yourself correctly, you will never keep that job. And so that's where we have discovered the real secret, like the real thing that women need is we need to learn employment retention. Because just getting a job is not going to help you change your situation. But keeping a job, starting to make money, understanding that money, financial education, more career development, do you need to go back to school? Whatever it is that you need to do, that's how you really change someone's life. And so we actually have 4 programs that make up Dress for Success Denver. And the 3 of them, the Career Center / a Training Center, our Job Readiness Program, and our Employment Retention Program. Those are the programs that are the core of what we do.
Are most of the people at Dress for Success volunteers, or is there like a good mixture of volunteering and people who actually work there full time?
We are small and mighty. There are 3 full-time staff and 1 extremely part-time inventory associate, and we serve about 1,500 women a year. And we have about 60 to 70 volunteers who are coming in and serving women.
That's
Since
amazing.
COVID, we're actually doing really well with this. We call them success bags. In the month of July, we actually packed 50 success bags for women, which is great that we're able to continue to meet the need, but it's also awesome. People are getting jobs.
Oh, I'm
They're
so
going
glad
to
to hear
work.
that.
They are getting jobs. They're getting promotions. It's really exciting. And we are actually operating no volunteers right now. So it's just the three of us and our inventory associate, and we are serving the entire city.
Oh my gosh, you guys are rock stars. Seriously. What led you to Dress for Success as a volunteer? What gave you that calling?
Absolutely. So it started off, so I had known Kathy for years and we worked together. And she said, when I start this organization, I really need you to come down because you guys are stylists. That's what you do. And so I thought, well, that's easy. I'll just go down and pick out clothes. I mean, I pick out clothes every day, but it was different. I went down and I would help women and I would see how they would look when they came into the office. And it's like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and it's so heavy. And then I put you in a jacket and it's comfortable and it fits and you feel good about it. And all of a sudden that confidence starts to brew up from the inside and you start standing up straight and you start looking me in the eye and you're like, I can start to see the shift and you not just thinking you might be able to do it, but knowing that you can get that job, you can change your life, you can take care of your family, get out of public housing, get a car, go back to school, whatever you need in order to achieve that self-defined success. And I started doing it all the time. And I saw that this is so much more. And it's really about role modeling. And, I tell everyone, I really didn't want to be anybody's role model. No, don't look at me. Don't look to me whatsoever. But I realized that I am. I'm a role model, rather I just walk down the street or if I commit myself to an organization like Dress for Success. And women saw me, they identified with me. I'm young, I look like them. I'm in this professional career. They're like, wow, this is interesting. And they model you, they study you. And I think for a lot of women that are coming up, and I think this is across the board, we need somebody we can look at. You need different role models. You need people who you can identify with so you can say, if she did that, I can do that too.
It's
I love
super
that.
empowering. The empowerment. It's just like really spectacular, and I love what you just talked about with the role models. It's so important. For me as a younger, a little girl, me as a teenager, me as a 20-year-old, me as this 30. I mean, I am always looking for role models. And like, this is such a cool organization to be a part of. And do people keep in touch? Are you able to is it applicants or clients or people clients that you work with? Do they keep in touch? Do you get to see their progress and do they touch base?
With that final program, our employment retention, that is called our Professional Women's Group, PWG, because it's way too many words. So the PWG, that is for women who have come through our program and who are employed. Once you become a member, you stay a member. So you could come. I have women in that group that came for 10 years. I have women who just started coming. And what's cool about it is I get to see their progress. And I mean, every once in a while, I'll look at a woman and tell her, I forget where you came from. Because I do, I forget. I'm like, who this person is? I don't know her. She's new. When you came into our office, I remember I remember what it was like. And I see you now and I'm just so proud and so impressed. And the other women in the group can see them. So they can identify with them and they can see, someone will say, well, I just got out of jail and I just want to kind of sit in the corner. And I'm like, oh, there's no need for you to sit in the corner. Why don't you go sit at that table? Because I know that there's women at that table who also were formerly incarcerated, women who have gone through domestic violence situations, who are now homeowners and doing all kinds of great things. And just every type of woman you could imagine is in that group. Every ethnic background from all over the world, every age, 15 up to 70, everybody is there. And so you really create that sense of community. I think that's one of the most important things that Dress for Success does, is we create a sense of community amongst all women, even groups of women that would never be in contact with each other, from our volunteers to the women that we're serving. It is so important. in our world where we talk about diversity and inclusion, you have to create environments for inclusivity. And that's one of the things that we're really good at. And I love that because I just love watching a woman progress through her life. And it's such an honor to just kind of walk beside her in that journey.
Oh, that's so amazing. I feel like what you just said there, the whole time you were talking, before you even said the word community, I was just like, you guys have such an amazing community that you have built there. And it's something special when we can walk into these types of situations and these types of communities and be a little bit vulnerable. And once we start seeing other people around us being vulnerable, and then that lets us let our guard down, and then we're able to do that. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we got this instant connection, right? That's so amazing. So amazing. You used to be in the fashion world yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you sent me a picture and I was like, dang, that is a nice picture. Like, it was so awesome.
I loved being a blonde. It was awesome. So I have always wanted to be in the fashion industry. Always. Like, I was that little girl who had on grandma's fur coat and walking down the hallway. And I mean, I've wanted to do that my entire life, but I've always been just bigger. You know, I'm 6 foot tall. I wear like a 16, you know, I'm bigger. And so I never thought that was possible. So I always worked behind the scenes. So I went to work at Wilhelmina, based in New York. And then I traveled, I did scouting, I did all kinds of different things for them. And then one day this woman said, well, we're looking for plus size models, you know, people who look like you. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. So then I started into that, and then I started modeling, and I started modeling all over the United States as a full-figured model. It's really interesting. You are the people in the audience, like audience members, they love you, but sometimes models hate you. Like, you're their worst nightmare because you are that bigger girl, the one that they are desperately fighting to not be. But a lot of times the audience, they love it. I did a lot of runway and did a lot of campaigns. And so I just remember coming out and the people are like screaming like, yes, you look like me.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Because that's reality.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I credit, and I will always credit them. I know I don't normally name drop, but I love Macy's. I will put it out there. I love Macy's. Macy's really helped me build my career because Macy's is one of the first companies that ever insisted on having a mature model. So you'll have an older woman, like a beautiful woman with gray hair. You'll have a petite model, super, super tiny, tiny, tiny people. You'll have a plus. You'll have a model that might have some kind of a disability. That was something that they built their company off of. And so some of my first jobs were with them. And I did campaigns traveling with them to really show that, and to really show people what clothes are, you know, what clothes you're actually going to look like and going to buy. And then the photograph that I had sent you, that is from a local designer. It's called Anna Festa, and her name is Anne Fanganello. And she's an amazing designer, and I modeled for her for many years. And we always did the AIDS Day, and we did the Red Ball. And so we staged a protest at the Red Ball. And so that's why we have that fight. There's a big banner behind it that says fight AIDS. And that's why I kind of have my boxing gloves on and my big blonde wig.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just saying, it's awesome. It's so much fun.
It is.
What gave you that confidence? Did you have this confidence growing up, or kind of what gave you this resilience, this fire, like that I can see in your eyes right now? Was this little girl did that little girl always have that, or
absolutely not? Absolutely not. That little girl was afraid to speak to anybody. Suffered some serious bullying. You know, I've been 6 foot tall since I was 12. And that kind of makes you a target, like, oh, well, if we can attack the biggest girl, then, you know, I'm really strong. So it was some serious bullying, all kinds of issues in my youth. I didn't actually get into modeling until I was about 23 years old, which is really, really late in the game. The majority of people get in like 15, 16, but I wasn't ready for that. There's a lot of scrutiny that happens in the industry. Now, people will always ask me, well, I want to get my child in, I want to try to do that. And I just ask them, how tough is your child? Are they the type to be crushed when somebody tells them you don't fit the bill? When somebody tells them, oh, I'm sorry, you have an extra inch. Or if they look at them, look back down and say, next. It can be a very brutal industry. And there's very few people who are really successful. I mean, I can count on my hands models who are really successful. And so you have to go in to the fashion industry, particularly, what do you want to do? Do you want to be like some famous big time model that's like all over TV, on every magazine, and on every website? Well, if that's the case, you're going to need to sacrifice, you're going to need to tough it up. But if you want to work every once in a while, see if you can find your niche, what makes you different, and then you can highlight that. So I kind of tackled fashion industry almost like just employment, you know? It was a job. And what do I need to do in order to get that job? And then I think that confidence has also come through in working for Dress for Success, because I've seen the women that have come through. And these are women who are going through some of the biggest obstacles I've ever imagined. I have no idea how difficult some of these situations are. And I pray I will never know how difficult some of them are. And I have seen them time and time again, keep fighting, keep coming back, going to a job, working and attending our meetings while you are homeless, sleeping in your car in a Walmart parking lot. And you're still going to work every day. You go to the YMCA to take your shower, and then you sleep for a couple of hours, and then you're awake and you sleep, and you go to the Walmart parking lot because it's well lit and there's a lot of space, a lot of cars. I mean, I see that every single day, and I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? You need to go ahead and do that. And so I found that resilience in myself. I'm also, especially during COVID, I've always been a woman of strong faith. My faith has been enriched and deeply enhanced during COVID. And just that relationship that I have with God has really started to really come out of me with who I know who I am, and I know who I belong to, and I know my purpose. I'm here to love everybody and to inspire a generation of women to believe that they can achieve whatever they want. And so I've got my mission, and let's go.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And talk about putting your own problems in perspective, right? It's like we can all have ourselves a little pity party someday, and then all you got to do is like open your eyes and take a look around, and there's a lot of people has things a lot worse, right? You can always find somebody. Mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel to be able to lift women up? Like, what does that feel like to you?
That is a great question. It's almost indescribable. You know, I don't have any children. I have fur babies. They're behaving right now. Everybody's asleep. This is great. I don't have any children, but I almost feel like I have like 17,000 children all over the Denver area. Like they're like, I take ownership. Like I had one woman text me today, and she's like, oh my gosh, I was just invited to do a TED Talk. And this woman has been through, she has one of the most dynamic and amazing stories I have ever seen. And I got a tear in my eye that she was invited to that. I have a woman who emailed us, and she's like, oh, I was furloughed at the beginning of COVID. I don't know what I'm going to do. A month later, I'm great. I got another job. It's great. I can work from home. I can take care of my kids. I'm so excited. And it's this inner feeling of just proud. Like I'm proud of them, and I'm proud to be a woman. Like they make me feel proud in who we are and what we do. Women have I've had such a bad rep, you know, in the fashion industry, forget it. Bad rep earned, absolutely earned. But yeah, bad rep. And I'm like, look at who we really are. And it's that internal pride. And I would also say dedicating yourself to something, when you find something, a career or a hobby that you're really passionate about, and you dedicate yourself to it and you start to see it, it's like my garden is blowing up. It's growing all over the place. And it withstood the COVID, and it's withstood the injustice, and it just keeps blooming. And I love it. There's no better way to have spent my last 13 years.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. And I have to say, we send you some questions and we asked you, like we like to ask people, what are your hobbies? And I was looking at some of your hobbies. I'm like, hiking, weights, travel. I'm like, are you my sister out there? Like, this is all the same things that I love to do too. So what brings you joy? What do you do in your personal life aside from, I mean, I got to tell you, it sounds like you get a lot of joy from your work, but
Mhm.
personally, what do you do to get joy?
I love my fur babies. I am a pug person.
Oh,
I have
pugs!
I have two pugs.
I
So
love pugs.
I have a 12-year-old that I've had. He was
Oh.
9 months. And then last week, I actually adopted a new one who is 3 years old. He was a rescue. And so I feel like I freed him from pet slavery. And
Oh.
he's around here somewhere.
What's their names?
So my older one is Mr. Butta.
Oh,
And then
Mr.
my
Butta.
younger one is Mr. Cocoa Bean.
Oh, come on,
Love it.
Mr.
So I love my fur babies. They
Pug
bring me
love.
such joy. Like regardless of what was going on and who was arguing about what and all this drama, I just come home and put my hand on the fur babies and I'm like,
Yes.
so I love that. As you said, the weightlifting, I love that. I love getting out in nature, doing anything. I was never one to like flying on planes, and now I find myself fantasizing about flying and going somewhere. Like I
Aren't we
really
all?
want to go somewhere, anywhere. So I'm really excited to travel and go somewhere. And I also have a really bad habit of watching Married at First Sight. That show,
Oh.
and they just started a new season, and they're in New Orleans, and it takes place during quarantine.
Oh, no
So
way. I
not
had no
only are you
clue.
marrying a stranger, but you're about to be quarantined for 3 months with just that stranger.
No way. Of course they did. Oh my gosh, it's so good, right? It's so bad. It's so good.
It's so bad. It's so bad. First I was very undercover, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
But then all this stuff would happen, and I would have to give my team would ask me, okay, well, what's the Married at First Sight update this week? Like, oh, from season 7, and
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Oh,
My
Lisa,
guilty
it's
pleasure is
good.
every summer I have to watch Big Brother. I
oh
don't know if
yeah,
you guys know that,
hmm
but they cram everybody in
Never
the
watched
house
it.
and everybody's
hmm
backstabbing everybody, and it's so bad, but it's so good at the same time. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And they're doing the same thing. We weren't sure if it was going to happen this summer
uh-huh.
because of COVID, but they made it happen because everybody got tested and they quarantined them for a certain amount of time, and so now they're all going to be quarantined in the house together. It's kind of the perfect show for that because they're all quarantined in the house anyways. But that's so crazy. How was life growing up for you? So you said you were shy and quiet.
hmm
What was family life like? Like, did you have a supportive, like we've kind of seen this pattern in like talking to women, and a lot of women, we have these other women who came before us, right? Whether that's a mother, a sister, an aunt, a grandma, like somebody that we look up to. Who was that for you growing up?
Well, I have the ultimate female family, like driven female family. So I was raised by my mother and my aunt. They are twins. And that's like having the same person. So I was raised by my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother. These are the 3 women who have absolutely shaped my life. But then I also have a little bit of the village. So my sister is about 10 years younger than me, and her father was heavily influenced in my life and is very much influenced in my life now, as well as my uncle who lives in the East Bay area of San Francisco. And so I have like all these people who are raising me, who are bringing me up. And I was always encouraged, always. Like if I said, oh, I want to go do this, okay, go do it. Figure out how to do it. I was never really told no, ever. Whatever you want to do, figure out a way to do it and go do it. And I think that has really helped me when I've said, I think I want to get in the fashion industry. Okay, figure out a way to do it and go do it. I was also raised in an environment where that role model really was essential and important. I'm a Denver native, like an actual native, born and raised here. And I grew up in the Montbello area, and I went to school at Kent Denver School, which is an amazing private school in the middle of Cherry Hills Village. And Kent Denver School, when I went there, had maybe 5 minority students in the entire school. And I remember going to this school and having my grandmother particularly telling me, when you go in this place, you represent your entire race. And I was like, no, that's not correct. I'm not doing that. I'm in 6th grade. But she was actually right. And I learned real quick, when you are the only representative there, you become the representative for everybody.
Mm.
And so you have 2 options. You either rebel or you clean it up. And you clean it up so that others can be treated with respect that you would like them to be treated with. And so I did that. And so I made sure I was always extremely polite, always on time, very courteous, that type of a thing, because I wanted them to see that this was possible in my race, in my demographic, that everybody wasn't in that specific box. And so that was really important. And I grew up that way. I mean, school's such an integral part of growing up. And I went there from 6th grade through 12th grade. And then I got a scholarship to play volleyball and track and field at DePauw University, which is in the middle of a cornfield in southern Indiana. So not much better. And I learned, and that is how I grew up. I grew up in environments where I had to figure out how to get along with multiple people who agree, people who completely disagree, people who don't even like you. They don't like you at all, and they don't want you there. I had to figure out how to live in those environments. And it really helped me create this kind of diplomacy and an ability to get along with everybody, to help everybody, as well as it made me into a leader. Rather, I was the captain of the team or school president, or it made me into a leader at a young age, which I just continued throughout my entire life thus far.
That's amazing. I think a big key, something that I picked up on that you said, was growing up that way and having your family say, great, figure out a way and go do it. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, great, well, let me see if I can make this happen for you, right? Like they gave you that power, right? Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that's like to be the only representative, right? Mm-hmm. But I have to imagine that would weigh very heavily on some people's shoulders as a, that it should. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like your family helped instill that for you to own your own power, right? And so to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, they just did you the best service ever by letting you know that you hold your own power and you can hold your head up and that you have the control over you, right? And so that's just beautiful and amazing, and kudos to your grandma and your family. Like, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
They did a great job. I owe them a great deficit. And
but everybody knows like you're repaying that.
When I say my parents, I mean like 5 people. I really do. I say parents, I mean 5 people. My true parents are really my mother and my aunt. They really are. I was raised by the twins, and the twins did everything that they could. They still do. They're still very much involved in my life. They live down the street from my house, and I'm over there. They're over here. We take care of each other, help each other out, everything that we can do. We're really a close-knit family. And I used to not like that. I used to say, well, I wish I had a boyfriend or a husband, or, I wish my family looked more like a traditional family. But then I was around friends and they started losing family members. Like, you started losing your parents. Somebody's mother died and then somebody's father died. And I saw, I'm like, man, that's not good. And I learned just content. Be happy with what you got. This is what I got, and it's awesome. And so I love it.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes family is who you make, right?
That is true.
I have a very, very complicated family tree, especially like with my husband. It's like the sister-in-law is really the cousin who got adopted by it's like a big mess. And it's like, what? It doesn't matter who is what. It's the family is who the people who are around you, who lift you up and who you make, that's the beautiful thing, I think. And it sounds to me like you're paying it forward. Mm-hmm. Like your whole life is you are paying that forward. Like you are giving back what has been taught to you. And that is like one of the biggest lessons in life. And I think one of the most beautiful things. And just thank you so much for like being you and being out there there. It makes me certainly feel a lot better about our world when we get to talk to people like you who are out there shining their light and doing amazing things. It's really, especially during times like this, you know, where it's just like the world just feels like in a huge unrest, and it's real easy to get real depressed and get real down and to focus on the negative. But this is a light when we get to speak with people like you. So thank you so much. Can you tell us, like, how do people find Dress for Success? How do people find you and your organization?
Absolutely. So we're a referral service. And so that's how women get to us when they need assistance. Now through COVID, because a lot of our nonprofit partners are still not open, or there's all kinds of issues, you can just call. You can call us, you can send us an email, and we will be happy to help you. If you are interested in supporting Dress for Success, I welcome you to visit our website. We've just developed a new campaign called our 150 Club. So it costs our organization $150 to serve every woman. And so we have created that 150 Club to see how many women will you help us serve. And so we're asking our supporters to donate $150 or more to help us to continue to serve the community. So that's really exciting. You can get our website at denver.dressforsuccess.org and get all of that information. And coming this October, we will have our virtual fashion show. So we used to have a big fashion production. It was awesome. We had like 350 people last year. We used models of women who are in our program, which is very exciting. So we have every age, every shape, every size, and we kind of show you that before and after when they came into our boutique space, and then they're modeling fabulous clothes. So not even necessarily work clothes. They are modeling amazing, exquisite clothing that is actually for sale at our boutique sale events. And it was huge. It's become such a great signature event. So for this year, our event is virtual, and we have the same concept. So women that are in our programs are going to be modeling gorgeous clothing that has been donated, that is available for purchase at our boutique sale. And they will have elaborate face masks that are custom designed by repurposing clothing that has been donated to us and to match their outfits. And so if you can imagine these just really gorgeous, funky, fun outfits with these masks that are covered in jewels and fringe and fabric and fur and everything you can think of all over these masks.
Yes.
And so we're going to premiere that in October.
Oh, that sounds
Awesome.
amazing. And so does your organization get clothes by financial donations and actual clothing donations?
So we used to have to buy clothing because we just didn't have enough. Now we have too much.
Oh, really?
I'm convinced every single woman in this city took the opportunity in quarantine to clean out every closet that she had been delaying cleaning for the past 10 years and has brought everything to us. And it is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember when I started, we had nothing. Now we have so much, we have no place to put it.
You have clothing, you got clothing stashed away in your home?
I literally have 5 racks in my office. You can't see me from the door. Like,
wow.
That's a great problem to have.
It is a great problem because we also have retail partners. So on a national level, we have retailers who, like you've heard rumors, retailers going out of business. Well, they're sending us all their clothes. Wow. So we have retailers as well. So right now, we're not asking for clothing donations. We are inundated with clothing donations. The best way to support Dress for Success right now is through financial contributions.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And thank you so much. I feel highly underdressed right now. I worked out, and so I have no makeup on. You look completely gorgeous. So thank you so much for being here and just sharing your time and sharing your story, and for just being a part of this organization. Like I said, it really does brighten my day to know people like you are out there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Ladies, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be your servant because, Dress for Success is a community organization. So we are serving your community. So it's an honor to be your servant. It's an honor to go ahead and to help the 17,000 women that we've helped thus far. And, keep in mind, Zoom dressing is only from the neck up.